Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 4, Banking and Monetary Policy. Hi, I am Pratik Majmudar. I hope you all are safe and healthy. So, as per the board's requirement, the marks which are allocated for this particular chapter, that are 8 marks. Okay. So in section A, one MCQ is going to be asked, that is for 1 mark. In section B, 2 questions, that is for 1 mark each. So total 2 marks. In section C, 1 short question, that is for 2 marks. In section D, 1 brief answer writing, that is for 3 marks. And there is no question in section number E for this particular chapter. So the total marks allocated for this particular chapter, that is 8 marks. Okay. So let's start what we are going to study in this chapter. So these are the points which we are going to cover. First one, that is evaluation of bank, how bank has started. Then the meaning of bank, classification. The classification is divided into 2 parts. One, that is commercial bank, and second is central bank. And the last question, that is monetary policy. Okay, now let's start with the first one, that is evaluation of bank. So in English language, the bank means heap or mass. In Sanskrit language, the akin word of bank, that is bund. Okay, from the word bund, the new word that come into existence, that is bundor. Okay, now the Bank of Barcelona is set up in Spain in 1401, is the first real bank established in the world. This question is asked in the last examination, board's examination, March 2020. Okay, so 1 marks question was asked, which was the first bank was set up in the world? The Bank of Barcelona. So this is 1 marks MCQ. So in which country it was established? So it is established in the country Spain. And in which year it was established? It was established in the year 1401. Okay, so this is the best way by which you can learn. Now, what is the meaning of bank? A bank is the institution which provides the banking services. Right now, if you see in the economy, everything is dependent on the bank. Okay, and the banking institutes are working as extreme hard for the development of our country. So this is the one definition. A bank is an institute which provides the services of banking. And the another definition which you need to learn, that is a bank is an institution authorized to collect the people's savings with the purpose to deposit, lending those under the condition of returning them when the depositor demands. Okay, so basically there are 2 functions of the bank, one that is collection of the money and second that is lending of money. Okay, what is called as collection of money? People will deposit their savings into your accounts, that means into the banks. Okay, what the banking institute will do, they will lend the money to the people which have the requirements of the money. So this is the main function of the bank, and bank is working as per that. Now see that the classification of bank, the most important question for this particular chapter, what is the classification of bank? So banks are classified into 2 parts, one that is commercial bank and second that is central bank. Okay, in specific to the commercial bank, we are going to study what are the functions of commercial banks and what are the presence of commercial banks in India, how the commercial banks are working and which model they are adopting when it comes to India. Now that is second, that is central bank. Central bank means Reserve Bank of India, RBI. So we also have to study the functions of RBI. Okay. Now what is called as commercial bank? The most important question. Here a board can ask this kind of questions as well. The definition of commercial bank is written in which of the act? So it is written in the Act, Banking Company Act 1949. Okay, so you have to remember this one, Banking Company Act 1949. Okay, so what is the definition? Commercial bank is one which transacts the business of banking, that is accepting deposits from the people for the purpose of lending or investment, repayable on demand and otherwise, and withdrawal by the check, demand drafts, pay orders and otherwise. This definition you have to learn. Okay, this can be asked for 1 mark question, BSQ, very short question. 1 mark question they can ask, write the definition about commercial bank. So you have to write according to that. Okay, so as per this act, Banking Company Act 1949, this is the definition. If you see that in this they have written accepting deposit. What they were doing? They were accepting the deposits from the people for the purpose of lending or investment. Okay, and it is repayable on demand. That means what the bank is doing, when you are depositing your money into a bank, what they will do, they will put some portion as a reserve. Afterwards the rest of the amount they will lend to the number of people who needs it as a loan. Okay, but these all are called as demand deposits. Demand deposit, that means when the customer reach to the bank, they will branch to the, they ask particular manager or particular person that I need to withdraw this money from my account, so they have to pay it on a right time, so that is called as demand deposits. Okay, now the another definition, that is a commercial bank is a business unit which provides the banking services for profit. That means banking is working for the profit, the purpose of to earn the profit, but what they were doing, they were paying the banking services. Now the next, how they will earn the profit, how the banking institute will earn the profit. So this is the answer. The lending rate of interest is higher than the rate of interest which banks give to the deposits. Okay, let's take an example. For example, my name is Pratik. So Pratik is depositing 1000 rupees into bank. So bank will give him the rate of interest that might be from between 3% to 6%. Okay, so I am going to get, for example, I am going to get 3% as a rate of interest on my deposit. So 1000 and 3% of interest. So what the bank will do? Bank will put some of the amount as a reserves. For example, from 1000 they will make reserves for 20%, and rest of the amount they will lend to the number of people who are in need of the loans. So 1000 minus that 20%, that is 200. So rest of the amount, that is 800. So 800 can be given to anyone, but on that 800 rupees they will charge rate of interest which is actually higher than the rate of interest which was given on a savings account or any of the deposits. That means they will give the loan for 8% or 10%, and they will earn the rate, the difference between these two rates, and that is called as their profit. Okay, now you can see in this definition, the lending rate of interest is higher than the rate of interest which banks give on deposits, and the difference between these two is their profit earning. Okay, hence the banks are called as commercial institutions. That's why the banks are called as commercial institutions. Okay, so in 2 marks, the bank or the board will ask like why the banks are called as commercial institution. Explain. So this you have to do. Okay, so this is the answer, this is the particular answer for this. Next one, what are the functions of commercial banks? Basically there are two types of function of any of the commercial bank. One, that is primary function, and second, that is secondary or other functions. Let's see the first one, that is primary functions. Okay, there are five major primary functions. One, that is accepting deposit. Second, that is providing credit facilities. Third, that is payment and withdrawal facilities. Fourth one, that is credit creation, and fifth, that is interbanking transaction. Even in the board exams, if the examiner asks you the question, explain the functions of commercial bank, you can draw this type of chart as well. This looks like a good presentation. Okay, then the second type, that is secondary functions. In that, one, that is agency and utility services, and second, that is provides various facilities with changing time. So these are the functions you need to remember. Let's start with the first primary function. In that first one, that is accepting the deposit. Okay, now deposits are mainly of three types. Remember this line. Sorry, remember this line. Three types. There are three types of deposits. First one, that is current account deposits. Second is savings account deposit, and third, that is long term or fixed deposit. Okay, in a 1 mark question they can ask how many types of deposits are there, so you have to answer three types of deposits. One, that is current account deposit, second is savings account deposit, and third, that is fixed deposits. let's start with the first one, that is current account deposit. What is called as current account deposit and what is called as current account? Okay, if you know that, first when we are going to answer, we have to remember like that, who can open a current account? So first one, that is a businessman. A businessman, that means on the name of business you can open a current account, on the name of a firm you can open a current account, on an individual name you can open a current account. Where there is savings account, that can be opened by the individual person or jointly. Okay, for example, me and my wife, we are jointly opening an account, so that is joint account. Okay, or the long term or fixed deposit, that can be opened by any one of them. Now let's start with this one. Okay, so businessmen, why they were opening a current account? So these accounts are highly liquid. What is called as highly liquid? You can do numerous transactions in these accounts. Numerous transactions. That means numbers of time you can deposit your money and you can withdraw money numbers of time. You don't have to take permissions of anyone. There are no restriction on taking of your money. Okay, so these accounts are highly liquid. Then because of this feature, highly liquid, they were paying no interest. Okay, so in current account you are not going to get any kind of interest. Okay, but as per the government and as per the law, you have to open current account if you are doing a business. Okay, so as per the requirement you have to open these accounts. Then the second one, that is savings account deposit. Okay, now saving account can be opened by the individual or the jointly. Nominal rate of interest. Okay, what is called as rate of interest? When you are depositing your money, normally these are opened by the people who are making savings in a particular time. Okay, so for example, I have saved 10,000 rupees, so I am going to deposit in the savings account. So what kind of interest I am going to get? I am going to get the nominal rate of interest. That means for example 3%, for 4%, 3.5%, up to 6% they were giving. Rest of the banks were giving up to 6% rate of interest, and minimum, that is 3% rate of interest in a savings account. Now the facility of recurring deposit, this is the second one which you need to remember. What is called as recurring deposit? For example, I am not making I am every month I am putting some of the amount in my accounts, but I am going to get the rate of interest at a 3% or a 4%. So what I can do, I can open a recurring deposit. So what I am going to get in recurring deposit, I am going to get a particular rate of interest. Okay, so which is more than the savings account. For example, I am opening my recurring deposit for rupees 3,000. So every month on a particular date, the 3,000 rupees will be deducted from my account and that will be deposited in recurring deposit account. Okay, and I am going to get a rate of interest of 6%, 6.5%, 7% on that. Okay, so that was the second type. Now the last one and the most important, that is the third type, long term or fixed deposits. You have many time you have heard this word, what is called as fixed deposit. Now let us go in brief. What is called as fixed deposit? It is fixed for a particular year. You can open a fixed deposit for 7 days and you can open it till 10 years. Okay, from the 7 day to 10 years you can open a fixed deposit, and this interest is going to be get for how many numbers of days or how many numbers of years you are putting your deposits. Okay, so this has the highest rate of interest. So a question can be asked, in which of the accounts highest rate of interest can be given? Current accounts, savings account, recurring deposit accounts, or the fixed deposit accounts? So answer is fixed deposit account. Okay, now the second feature, that is providing credit facilities. Okay, what banks were doing? First, that is collection of money. You have collected the money from the individuals. Now the individuals and the businessmen, they have a particular requirement of some of the money. For example, for the personal requirement, for example, if I want to build a new house, if I want to start a new business, if I want to specifically send my child to any of the country for their further education, then I need to get the loans. For the marriage purpose, I can take the loans. Okay, that is called as personal loans. Even for the let's say an example of, if I want to buy a car, I need a credit facility from the bank. Okay, so I can go there, I can ask for the two-wheeler loans, four-wheeler loans, so they will give me. Okay, so what they can give, the banks, when the individual or a business require money for a personal or investment purpose, so they will provide you the credit facilities. The interest rates are charges as per the requirement. For example, if you are taking a loan for example, you are taking loan for home, so you are going to get the rate of interest will be 8% or 10%. If you are taking loan for two wheelers, that is for 13% to 17%. If the loan is taken for the personal purpose, personal loans, then it is might be for 18% to 24%. Okay, now the tenure, normally it is divided into three types of tenure. One that is short term, medium term and the long term. Okay, now short term loans are for only 1 year. You can see that a medium term loan that is for 1 to 5 years, and long term loan that is from 5 year to 15 years. Even these three questions are your MCQs. This MCQ can be asked in the board examination. So remember this: short term loan that are only for 1 year or less than 1 year, medium term loan that is for more than 1 year or between the years of 5, that means between 1 to 5 years, and the long term loan that is from 5 to 15 years. Okay, understood? Okay, now the third one, the third feature or the third function of this particular commercial bank, that is payment and withdrawal facilities. For example, if you have deposited your money, you are going to get withdrawals at any of the time. So by which method you can withdraw your money? So these are the methods. First one, that is through check. You can directly go to the teller counter, just give them check, they will give you the money. So simple method. Second, through withdrawal slip. If you don't have the check, what you can do, you can withdraw by the withdrawal slips which are there in the banks. So just fill up the withdrawal slip, the teller will check in their accounts the signatures and the name of the person, and they will give you the money. And then third one, that is by the demand draft and by the pay order. Okay, for example, if I want to purchase a new bike, so I can pay by the check, I can pay in cash, I can swipe my card as well. But this facility is given by the bank, that is called as demand. So I don't have to take my money and carry my money and give this to the particular dealer. I can directly give them the demand draft. Okay, same way the pay order will work. Okay, demand draft is only when you are for example, if you are staying in Thermos and you are going to give demand draft to Anand. Okay, so you have to make a demand draft. When you are paying within the cities, that means from Anand to Anand, then you have to make a pay order. Okay, now next, that is ATM facility. The full form of ATM, that is automated teller machine. Remember this. This question is asked in the board examination for 1 mark. You have to remember this. What is the full form of ATM? Everyone knows that it automated teller machine. Okay. Now next is credit card and the debit card. Okay. So these two plastic cards, these are all called as plastic cards, credit card and the debit card. So you can take the withdrawal facility with the help of credit card and debit card. And last one, that is net banking. You can directly do the NEFT, RTGS, IMPS with the help of net banking. Okay, now let's see the fourth one, that is credit creation. This is the primary function number 4, credit creation. Now what is called as credit creation? Bank create money from the existing stock of money. What banks will do? For example, these are the names of the bank. Bank number A, Bank B and Bank C. For example, net deposited in their account, that is 1000 rupees. For example, a person came to the bank and he has deposited 1000 rupees. For example, let's take the reserves as 20%. Each and every bank is making reserves of 20%. This was taken as an example. This is not the perfect data. This is just an example. Okay. So from 1000 you will deduct 200 rupees. You will get the answer of 800. Now, for example, let's take the another bank, that is bank number B. What they were doing, they have net deposits of 800. Again, the reserves they have to make, that is 160 rupees, that is 20%. So these are the loans they can give to the people who are in demand. Then the bank C 640, 20% of that 128, 512. That means from the total deposits of all the banks 1800, 640. Then the rest of the, for example, let's take the total of 5000. 5000 came to the different numbers of bank, and we are making a reserves of 20%. We are making reserves of 20%, so you are going to get 4000 as a loans. Okay, so this is called as credit creation. Now learn this. When the credit creation of bank increases, when there is increase in credit creation, you can see that from this way, when there is increase in credit creation, there are more loans. Okay, the supply of money increases. You can see that 1000 rupees deposit and loans are 800. But when the credit creation is decreased, let's see 640, okay, then the supply of money will be 512 only. Okay, so this is inverse relation. Next, the fifth one, that is interbanking transaction. Okay, see that what is called as interbanking transaction, when there are two participants of the bank. For example, let's take an example of SBI and BOB, State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda. But let's see, banks provide long-term and short-term loan or the credits to each and everyone. For example, SBI is in need of fund. They need 5,000 crore right now for a particular payment. So what they were doing, they were asking the rest of the banks. For example, they have asked to Bank of Baroda. So Bank of Baroda will lend this money, but through the central bank. Okay, so central bank will come into existence at this place. What is called a central bank? Central bank, that means RBI and Apex Bank, Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so short-term credit provided by one bank to another bank through the central bank is called as call money. This is one mark question you have to remember. Short-term credits which are given by one bank to another bank. Very simple. One bank to another bank, that is called as a call money. Okay. Now next, that is the interest rate on a call money is called as the money rate. Okay. This is called as money rate. Now see the next one. Okay, so with this we have completed the primary functions of commercial bank. Now we are starting with the secondary functions of commercial bank. Starting with the first one, that is agency and utility services. Apart from the primary functions, banks were doing some of the secondary functions as well. For example, banks were giving the agency and utility services to their customers. For example, they were giving the undertaking services, underwriting services. Then they were allowing the tax challan facility. They were allowing you to deposit in safe deposit vaults, lockers facilities. They were doing some microfinance. Okay, and they were making the demand draft and the pay orders. So these are called as the secondary functions of a commercial bank. Okay. Now next, provides various facility with changing time. You see that, for example, the banking starts their work at 10 a.m. in the morning and completes their work in 4 p.m. afternoon. Okay, so within that 6 hours of duration we have to do our banking work. But what if I need to send money to the people, to the for my family member or anyone at a midnight? What I will do? So I can use these facilities. What are they? One, that is NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer. You can do NEFT at any time. Okay, 24/7 this service is available. If you just need an internet services and a laptop and a login ID in your particular account, you can send any amount, okay, through NEFT. Okay, now RTGS, real time gross settlement. Okay, so these two services are there. So what is the difference between NEFT and RTGS? Okay, RTGS, that means real time gross settlements. When you put the money, when you make an entry, the amount will be deposited same in the rest of the accounts where you want to send actually. Okay, so this is called as real time gross settlement, where NEFT will take a time of 24 hours. Okay, the deadlock or the maximum time which is given for NEFT, that is 24 hours, but you will get it in 2 or 3 hours. That is the minimum ratio. Okay, now the third facility which was given by the bank, that is demat accounts. Okay, the demat accounts, that means dematerialization of accounts. Previously, if you know that if you want to purchase share, debentures, bonds, you have to purchase in a physical form. But right now, at present, what you need to do, you just need to open a demat account, and you will directly open this particular account, and the shares can be purchased through the demat account. Okay, and that will be deposited in an electronic medium in your demat accounts. Okay, so this is just possible just because of these core banking services. What is called as core banking services? Centralized online real time exchange. This is the full form you need to remember. So in this slide there are four different full forms you need to remember. One, that is NEFT, RTGS, demat and core. Okay, so this is the end of the functions of commercial bank. Now the second question, that is presence of commercial banks in India. Okay, so we are going to see what kind of commercial banks are there. So let's start. Only those companies which are listed in the second schedule of the Commerce RBI Act 1934 are called as scheduled bank. Okay, so commercial bank is a part of scheduled bank, and scheduled banks have two parts. One, that is commercial bank, and second is cooperative bank. We have seen the functions of these commercial banks. Now, commercial banks will include public sector banks, private sector bank, foreign banks, and the regional rural banks. For example, public sector banks means what? For example, Dena Bank, Corporation Bank, Canara Bank, State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda. Private banks means ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank. These are called as private banks. Then the foreign bank, that means DCB Bank, that is a foreign bank. Any of the foreign bank which is working in India, they have this is also called as multinational companies bank, MNCs bank. Okay, and last one, that is regional rural bank, RRBs. Okay, so these banks are specifically working in rural areas. Okay, that's why the name of these banks is regional rural banks. Okay, so you have to remember this definition as well. What is called as scheduled bank? Those banks which are listed in the second schedule of the RBI Act 1934 are called as a scheduled bank. All the rules and regulations of RBI will be applicable to all these banks. Now, what is called as cooperative banks? NBFCs, non-banking financial corporations. All of them are included in cooperative banks. Okay, so this is it. This is the part one. Tomorrow I will come with the second part of this particular chapter. We have seen evaluation of bank, meaning of bank. Then we have seen basic two types of bank, commercial and the central bank. We have completed with the first part, that is commercial bank, in which we have seen the functions of commercial bank and what is the present situation of commercial banks in India. Okay, so this is end of part one. Now I have put a particular quiz for you guys. See, this is the quiz. Each and every student who are seeing this particular video have to answer this question in the comment box of the particular YouTube channel. First, write the name of first real bank in the world, its country, name and establishment year. Definition of commercial bank is given according to which act? You have to write down the name of the act. How many types of deposits are there? If you have seen it properly, you will know the answer. You have to write in a comment box. Fourth question, which type of account gives the maximum rate of interest? Okay, that means the types of account or types of deposit which gives the maximum interest. You know the answer. Fifth one, credit facility terms with its years bracket. Okay, so we have seen the credit facilities. It is given by three different terms. You have to write down the name of the term and you have to write down how many years it will take. And after that, you have to answer this fourth question with their full form, the full form of ATM, full form of NEFT, RTGS and the core. Core, that means core banking. Okay. So finally the instructions are there. Answer the quiz only in the comment section. You don't have to answer, write the answer and send me in WhatsApp. You just have to write it in a comment box. In next part, I will discuss the answer first. That means for all this 9 question, I will discuss the answer. Then we will start with the second part. And please do like, share and subscribe to our channel for this kind of such an amazing videos. Okay, I request everyone to please share it maximum as you can to all the students, to all your friends. Okay, thank you so much. This is me signing off. Goodbye. Happy learning.